Hey everyone, welcome back to my chatty, sassy corner here on YouTube where we talk about all things luxury, be it luxury fashion, luxury travel, or life's luxuries in general. Today, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite luxury handbag brands, and that is Strathberry. I've had a request to do a video talking about the wear and tear of all my different Strathberry bags, but I have a new one! So we're going to be unboxing this first. I am so excited to get this one. I'll tell you what, Strathberry is the brand that gets me to buy the most because they are constantly releasing new styles, new colors, just very excited because there's always something new coming out every couple of months. And this is something that I have been waiting for months. Since I first saw a glimmer of it in a corner of a snapshot posted on their stories from an event. So I will do the unboxing first and then talk about the wear and tear of my different pieces. So this is a true unboxing. I have not actually seen it in person yet. So I'm very excited. It, of course, comes with the care guide, the tissue paper, which I hate when stickers are put on tissue paper because then I have to rip the tissue paper. And it comes in dust bag. And then so I got the Strathberry Hobo bag in the new olive green color. I have been wanting a hobo bag in this color all year long. I was very tempted by the Todd's one in a very similar color, but really loved this shape. I tried it, I want to say it was back in November. They released this and I ordered it in the bottle green from Saks, and I believe that Saks is the only place that actually sells the bottle green color. And while I loved it and it was a beautiful color, I wasn't 100% sold. I really wanted either a light green or a maroon. They finally released a light green in this, and while it took me a couple of weeks to order it as I was being slightly resistant, trying to be very practical, I couldn't wait any longer. I had to own this bag because this is a style that since I returned the bottled green, I've wanted to carry this style bag so often. So I'm really excited to have it. I have already done a what fits in this bag, so I will link that video down below, as well as the what fits for all of these different bags I'm going to show you today. So obviously I do not know the wear and tear of this bag yet, but it does have a magnetic closure. And then it does also have a shoulder strap and a crossbody strap. So eventually I will probably do an updated video talking about the wear and tear of this bag, but let me talk about the other bags right now. So now let's talk about wear and tear, and I'm going to go in order of when I got these bags. So this bag I got in December of 2021, and it was my very first Strathberry bag. So this is in the mock croc finish. And there is not a single scratch, there's not an indent on this bag anywhere. And this bag I drop a lot. And I am ashamed to admit that I drop this bag a lot. And I don't think it has to do with the bag. I think it has to do with the fact that I carry it as a clutch. And so I'm more likely to drop it. It also doesn't really stand up on its own because the bottom isn't totally flat and there's no feet. So like if I try to like stand it somewhere, it flops over. So that's probably part of why it drops a lot. But even saying that, the finish has stayed perfect on it. The glazing is perfect. There's no sticky spots, no rough spots, no worn spots. The bar doesn't have any tarnishing or wear on it, which I think is really important. And honestly, it looks as good as the day that I got it. And the thing that I really like about this is that I do have a pair of real crocodile boots that I wore as my show boots. And when I compared this crocodile to a lot of other mock crocs, I honestly think this crocodile is the closest looking to real crocodile when I compare it to my actual crocodile boots. So big plus to Strathberry on that. I think that they did an extremely good mock croc finish and a very, very durable mock croc finish at that. Now, the second bag that I got is the regular sized East-West bag. I got it in the tri-color, and I am not gentle with this bag. I don't baby this bag. But again, you have Zero tarnishing on this hardware. This is a bag that I carry quite a lot, particularly in the spring transitionally. And I absolutely think that this bag has held up wonderfully. There is no rubbing on the corners. The glazing is all perfectly intact. And unlike with the Stylist that I just showed, this one stands up on its own perfectly fine. I have no stuffing in it right now whatsoever, and it's a very stiff construction on the bag. So while I can, if I'm forcing it, force it down a little bit, that's all I can do, and I'm trying to close the bag. So it has been very, very sturdy. The leather has held up very well. Both of these bags have been out in the rain, and there has been zero water spotting or signs of any type of damage from being out in the rain when I've been carrying them. It's not like I intentionally took them out in the rain, but it was raining. I was carrying this bag. They did get wet, and they have been perfectly fine, including the hardware, which I think is a really big deal. So this bag, again, has held up wonderfully, and there's no creasing anywhere. There's no rubbing. Everything is in absolutely perfect condition. The third bag that I got is the City of Set bucket bag, and the thing that I love about this is that while it is still a bucket bag, it's not your traditional like overly round bucket bag, so it doesn't stick way far out on me. Now, I have not carried this bag out in the rain because it is open, unlike my other two, so I don't want to risk anything getting wet in it. There are a couple of things to note about the wear on this bag. Out of all my bags that I have, this one definitely has the softest construction. And so if you notice around, there is some, I won't want to call it like creasing or wrinkling, but there is definitely a slouch that is happening to the leather. I currently have this bag unstuffed. And what I noticed after the first couple of months of having this bag, I got it back in the spring of this year, I think. I want to say it was February or March when I got this bag. And I noticed after a couple of months of use that the bag was starting to slouch. So now whenever I'm not using this bag or not showing it on camera, I keep it stuffed, and that helped regain its shape a lot more. So that's just something to note about this bag. Because it is such a soft moldable leather, I mean, you can see me molding it right here, it doesn't maintain its shape quite as well. The other thing that I do have a slight concern about is that I've noticed that the handle has maybe warped just a tiny bit. I wouldn't say overly, but I don't think that it's perfectly even anymore. And so that's something else to note. And that's one of the things that I don't like about the Capucines, is that those handles can fall and slouch some. Other than hanging this bag by its handle, there's really nothing that I can do about that. It's obviously still standing up. It still looks really good. The leather itself is in really good condition, and like there's no rubbing or marks or anything like that on the leather of the bag, because the leather is very durable. It's just that because it is softer and because there's not a ton of structure to the construction, it's going to have a little bit of slouch to it over time. So something to note if you are thinking about getting this bag, and I have noticed this happening with the other Lana Osset bags or the other bucket bags, is that they do look like they have a little bit more slouch to them. So if you are someone who wants a very, very structured bag that is going to absolutely 100% keep its structure, this is definitely a bag that I would recommend doing that more of. This one is a different leather. It's a much more structured bag. So definitely keep that in mind when picking your bags. I'm not saying that this is a bad bag by any means. I think it is very pretty, but it does require a little bit more maintenance, because unlike the other two that I don't have to keep stuffed, this one I do, and it helps it keep its shape. Now, the final Strathberry bag in my collection is my, well, no longer my newest one. It was my newest one, and that is my Strathberry S Cabas Zip Tote. So this bag I have been basically keeping full of my work stuff. Even if I'm not going to work, I have it with something, whether it be camera equipment or whether it be books that I'm currently reading or whether it be my laptop at the end of the day if I want to store it. This bag I've been trying to use as much as possible, and this bag has been out in the rain. Leather has held up just fine, but it is also a very, very structured bag. There is zero stuffing in this bag right now, and it's holding its shape perfectly. And like I said, this is a bag that I've been keeping stuffed and in use as much as I possibly can, because I did want to see the wear on it. I am going to, in a couple of weeks, be taking it on its very first plane adventure, so I am curious to see on how it fares traveling. But overall, this bag has held up incredibly well. Again, there are no feet on this bag, but there's also no rubbing on the corners. Now, there is a little bit of rubbing here on the bottom because I did have it setting on some very harsh surfaces at one point, but that was more just because it was setting on a harsh surface and I accidentally, when I went to pick it up, dragged it a little bit. So that's on me. I don't think that's a fault to the leather at all. As I said, like, the corners are in great shape. The corners didn't really get anywhere, but there is just sort of this little scuff mark that runs along the bottom of the bag. So just something to note that, like, this leather can be scratched, but if you aren't putting on abrasive surfaces, it's going to be just fine. So just a little thing to note there, but again, there have been no issues with the glazing. It's been out in the weather, it's been out in the elements. It's not been in the heat, but other than that, it has been through its paces and it is holding up really, really well. And the thing that I love is that, again, I can have it totally unstuffed and it is staying up this tall, staying up this structured, and that can be hard to find in a tote bag because a lot of times with bigger bags, they tend to, at least at the top, be less structured. Now, I think that the fact that there is a zipper closure, even though this zipper is open, can help with that. But overall, this tote bag, this style, has held up very, very well. So if you are wanting a more structured tote bag that has some wider shoulder straps, this is definitely one that I feel very comfortable recommending after using it in so many different situations. So there you go, guys. There is my review of how my 4 bags from Strathberry have held up, ranging from 1.5 to 2 months of use. Just to sort of recap everything, basically the only time there's been wear to the actual leather has been my fault by dragging across an abrasive surface. The hardware has remained totally untarnished even when it's gotten wet. The leather itself is in great condition, and 3 out of those 4 bags are able to totally and completely hold their shape with 0 input from me, 0 packing from me, and I think that that is a really, really great feature to quality. The leather also still feels very supple while being very durable, and I think that that's an important thing that we don't necessarily always see. Now, the other thing that I do want to say about Strathberry bags is that, honestly, I probably get more compliments on my Strathberry bags than on any of my other bags. My Send Rev does get a lot of people making compliments about, particularly with the color because it's such a bright pink. But when I have people say, wow, what a gorgeous bag, they're talking about my Strathberry bag. Specifically, they're talking about these 2 right here. And I think that that is amazing, that, like, I can have these beautiful different bags from these different fashion houses, and it's the Strathberry ones that get the compliments. And it's a brand that I really love, and I don't just wear them to get compliments, but I mean, you guys know how it is. When you get a compliment on something, it feels really good. And these are bags that I feel like are a great investment because they do hold up over time, but they also can really help to elevate a look and give a very beautiful, elegant, expensive, nice quality looking bag to your look without having to spend an overwhelming fortune, without having to spend thousands. This bag, I think, with tax, shipping, and all of that, was $535. This bag, I believe, was around that range. This one, I think that my mother got for around $380. This one, I want to say, was again around $380, $400. And then my Cabas Tote, because I was able to get it in the sale, I only paid about $250 for. They have been fantastic investments for me, and I think hold up every bit as well and can definitely compete with the likes of brands like YSL, like Louis Vuitton, like Gucci. All 5 of these are bags, even though I haven't carried this one yet, that I would highly recommend, and there are way more styles than what's pictured here. I do have another bag that is on my wish list from them, and who knows, you may see that by the end of the year. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, everyone, and that this video has been helpful for you when you are wanting to know all about the brand's quality. I have the playlist link down below for all the different videos that I've done with Strathberry. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!